Welcome back to Hillbilly Garage. We're going to be working on my Barreto SG-30 today. This thing's been a pain in my ass, and you'll see why. Right. This is a video on these Barreto SG-30 stump grinders. If you're trying to fix anything on these motors, just know it's a pain in the ass because you got to take this whole entire plastic cover off just to get to the coils. And any other little thing that's over top of that coil, over top of that plastic cover, you have to take the back pump off. And this right here is the main pain in the ass. It's a pump mount. And it's also like a transmission piece to this pump. This pump acts like a transmission. They go together. You put transmission fluid in here, inside of this, and it helps operate everything. I didn't know that about this when I bought it, so if you have one of these machines, you better take this bolt out sometimes and put some transmission fluid in it. What kind do you say it take? It's automatic transmission fluid.
1.5 ounces of ATF.
All right, 1.5 ounces of ATF for that. We are going to call it a day. It's pretty damn humid out. I'm going to email Barreto tomorrow. Maybe they can send me a mechanic's manual or something. Make sure we're doing this right so I won't tear nothing up. Because it's such an easy fix to replace coils. That ain't nothing. But this is a pain in my ass. For sure.
It ain't gonna allow me to come back.
You get the rest of them screws loose, it will.
It's got to pop off here.
Just work.
Raggedy.
We done a little cut in here on the cover so we could pull it over and out of the way to see in there to get to the coils, because there's two bottom bolts. We'd had to unbolt the motor mounts, like tilt the motor, lift the motor to get to the plastic cover off. So we're improvising
In case we ever have to do it again.
Yep.
Go this way a little bit, bud.
I'm gonna have to come over off this hump.
That's what I was trying to do here. Damn it.
Finally got both these coils out. These things are a pain in the ass. They sit back right in here. This little spot inside this cover, and you gotta take all kinds of crap out of the way. We ended up cutting some sections just so we could pull it back, because we'd have had to take the whole motor up in the air to deal with it, and it'd been even more of a hassle. So we cut some corners. We cut corners to get it done. At the mower place. Finally putting this thing back together. We finally found some coils for it. These big block V-twin Vanguards, 31 horsepower ones. Them coils are a pain in the ass to find, so you got to make sure you have the right length ones. You can find a lot of them that are short, but finding ones that have the length that is correct is pretty hard. So and also make sure the places that you call have Briggs & Stratton parts and they're familiar with them, because it took me quite a few places in East Tennessee near Bristol, Johnson City, and Kingsport to find the parts I needed for this thing. The two coils, they were $53 and some change after tax, and these are the coils that go on them right here. See how long the cord is, you gotta have length. And with these Barrettos, you have to take this motor up off of the frame in order to really get these covers off and disconnect the front pump, the rear pumps, and everything. So it's a pain in the butt on these Barrettos. So I'm sure other machines that it's not as difficult to get the back cover off and out of the way, because the coils, they just sit back in here. On each, like pretty much the back of each head on each side. These dumbasses gave me 2 right side coils, so hopefully we can make this shit work. Also, make sure you gap your coils when you put them on. You can Google the gap for this motor. And make sure you got feeler gauges. Now you can actually see in there. It bolts right up against the flywheel. Both of them do on each side. Alright, so we got this thing thrown back together. I'm hoping to God it was just the coils that was making the issue. These are carbureted, so you gotta watch the dust when you're grinding and stuff getting in them. But other than that, I mean, these are great machines. They're just, man, they're a pain. They're a pain to work on. So be ready for a challenge, or if you got a motor lift, be ready to pull this out if you got to put coils on these. Unless you just cut the plastic like we did. I mean, it's hardly noticeable. You can't tell by camera and stuff. Even in person, you can't tell at all that we cut this to pull those back. So they should have made it where you could have took these side covers off, and so you could pop them coils in and out, you know. But, you know, I mean, they made this one to where it will pop off and move, but not those. You have to raise the motor up, take those 2 bottom bolts out and all the other bolts, and then pull that cover off after you unbolt all this, and it's a mess. But we're getting there. I just pray that this will fix the issue. So we're still having issues with this thing. We got the new coils on it. We gapped them. We done the whole 9 yards. That ended up not being the issue because it still sounds the same. So we called the local tractor place where I actually bought my part from. I'm trying to see who's here. Anyway, I called the tractor place where I got the coils from. We talked to a mechanic there that's in their shop, and he told us, he said, first do this, because we were thinking about buying a voltage regulator to see if that could have been a problem. He's saying no, that's probably not the problem, since we put the coils on and new plugs and all that. He said to spray some carb cleaner or brake cleaner inside the carburetor while it's running, and to see if it cleans up and gains power. So we done that, and it seemed to pick up a little and clean up a little and have a little more power to it. So we're gonna try again tomorrow and take the whole carb out if we have to, and clean it real good and stuff, and see if that's the problem. If not, he said look at the valves. He said the valves could have popped loose or something like that, and it could be a valve issue. So we took the cover off, getting the controls tightened. We did put some cleaner in the carb, and it seemed to clear up a lot of stuff in it and give it a little more power. So we're hoping to get it outside and keep doing that, maybe to clear up. If not, we're gonna have to look at these valves and check to see what they're doing. Also, I'm gonna blow all this mess off. It's pretty dusty up in here. Carb cleaner seems to be picking the power up more, but it's just not feeling right still. I'm gonna check these lifters out. Yeah, and loose and too tight. Loose or too tight. Right now, these things look like they're in pretty good shape. Take you a break, Dad. All right, we found the problem, thank God. It is the lifter on this. That's weird, because I swore it was on that left side. So it's the lifter on the right side. It come loose off of this lifter. And so we gotta get that fixed. Probably would have bent it. Dad said it ain't bent, so think we're in good shape, hopefully. But yeah, that's good we found the problem, so we ain't got to keep diagnosing everything. So I bought coils for nothing, but at least it's got new coils on it then. With the problem figured out, I just got to get the torque set on them and get it put back together, and we should be good to go. But right now I'm getting all the other little stuff we tore off back on it. For now I'm putting the back cover on, getting the fan tightened up, and we'll get the cover over it. And then we'll start getting all these other little bolts, like right here, it's missing a little bolt, and what other areas, we'll get that stuff taken care of. We got the cover on, tightened up. Now I've got to go run get T140 Torx bit so I can tighten up my lifters and pick up a couple other things, and we should be ready to get this thing rolling, hopefully. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, them things are a bitch to get loose. I was afraid I was gonna break it. Pull it in. That's with the idle down. You gotta go full idle to really get that wheel chewing up, especially with big stumps. Down here near Chattanooga, this old building over here looks interesting. Wonder what it used to be. Anyway, we drove down here and got a Rayco stump grinder. Pretty good deal on it. She's an old one. The new motor, only 30 hours on it.